Guys, James Carter TV here to give you my first round predictions for the 2016 NBA playoffs. Now, quickly to remind you all, coming into the season, I had the Golden State Warriors defeating the Cleveland Cavaliers in the finals in 6 games, and I'm probably sticking to that prediction in 6 games or maybe even less. I'm considering 5, but for right now, that's what I'm looking at going forward. But in this video, we're just going to discuss the first round, and then from there, we will reevaluate things. Let's start with the Eastern Conference, as we have the Cleveland Cavaliers facing the Detroit Pistons, the 8th seed Detroit Pistons, who made the playoffs for the first time in I don't even know how long. Stan Van Gundy finally turning around this team behind the efforts of Andre Drummond, who has really came on lately, Reggie Jackson, who has ended up being a pretty good starting point guard to have for this team. But with that said, they're going to lose this series. Now, what I could see actually the Pistons maybe stretching this to 6 games at most, because I think the Cleveland Cavaliers have issues right now. I mean, they're still probably going to make the finals, and I still have them making the finals, but there are some issues, so it wouldn't surprise me if Andre Drummond could be a really dominant force in this series and really cause problems for the Cleveland Cavaliers, who do not have a dominant force inside, and maybe the Pistons sneak in a game or 2. I have them sneaking in a game. I have the Cavs winning in 5. But I'm just going to be interested to see how good are the Cavs. Do they have any chance at defeating the Golden State Warriors or the San Antonio Spurs? Because, you know, the San Antonio Spurs do have a chance to get to the finals. So, assuming that happens, can the Cleveland Cavaliers then beat the San Antonio Spurs? We need to see more of them against good teams. We'll get a good look at them here, and we'll reevaluate things from there. Next, we have the Toronto Raptors against the Indiana Pacers. I had the Indiana Pacers making the playoffs heading into the season. I had them as the 8th seed, winning about 44 games, I believe it was, and that's just about what happened. I expected them to make the playoffs, and I expect them to lose in the playoffs now. The Toronto Raptors, I think, are destined to go to the Eastern Conference Championships this year. Now, with that said, they're probably going to disappoint me. But for right now, I'm rolling with the Raptors, definitely to defeat the Pacers. Although Paul George may have a game, maybe 2. I'll predict that the Raptors win in 5, but I could see 6. I don't think it's going to go to 7. Next, we have the Miami Heat against the Charlotte Hornets. The Miami Heat are getting in a little bit of a conversation here in terms of the Eastern Conference. I'm not sure that they're going to win it. Maybe they'll make the conference finals. But for right now, you know, they're facing the Hornets. The Hornets, who I said coming into the season, I wasn't sure how good the Hornets were going to be, because we knew that they made the playoffs in 2014. But then in 2015, we don't really know what happened. Yes, they had some injuries and whatnot, but they just kind of fell off, and then now they're back to what they should be. Al Jefferson isn't as good as he was 2 years ago, but Kemba Walker has really came on lately. Still not as good as I think he could be, but he's still pretty good now, and under his efforts, the Charlotte Hornets have ended up being the 6th seed. And the funny thing about the Miami Heat, the Charlotte Hornets, the Atlanta Hawks, and the Boston Celtics, they all have the same record at 48-34. Tiebreakers is the only thing that separated these teams. The Miami Heat came out lucky. They got the 3rd seed. They get home court advantage in this series, and they're just more experienced. So I'm going to put the Heat to win in 6 games. Could be 7. Next, we have the Atlanta Hawks against the Boston Celtics. I'm just going with experience here. The Atlanta Hawks aren't very good, but when you look at their playoff experience, when you look at the fact that the Celtics have a very young squad, guys that haven't made the playoffs ever in their lives in the NBA playoffs, haven't made it. Jared Sullinger, Marcus Smart, Isaiah Thomas, these guys haven't made the playoffs. I mean, actually last year they did, but they haven't won a series. So with that in mind, I like the Atlanta Hawks to win this series in 6 games. Next, we move on to the Western Conference. We have the Golden State Warriors matched up against the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, 8th seed, only went 41-41 this season. They only turned it on when they had to, but that's not enough for me. I see the Warriors sweeping the Houston Rockets. Don't you sleep on the Golden State Warriors, people. I mean, they're just going to run through these playoffs. I mean, they are. They're 73-9 for a reason. Watch them sweep the Houston Rockets. Next, we have the San Antonio Spurs against the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies stink lately. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games. Absolutely awful. While the San Antonio Spurs have been 6-4 in the last 10 games, have kind of tapered off lately. I think they're going to get things back rolling and going now that the playoffs have begun. I have them winning this in a sweep in 4 games. Next, We have the Oklahoma City Thunder matched up against the Dallas Mavericks. I didn't think the Mavericks were going to make the playoffs this year. This is one of the few teams that got in that I didn't think was going to get in. I've been impressed with them, but with that said, I think the Thunder are still just a better team, a younger team, a faster team, a much better team overall than the Dallas Mavericks right now. I'm picking the Thunder to win in 5, maybe he gets to 6, but I think the Thunder are just too good. They'll win in 5. Next, you have the Los Angeles Clippers against the Portland Trail Blazers. Damian Lillard can only do so much, and he can do a lot. I mean, this guy can put up 51 and defeat the Golden State Warriors pretty much by himself. Maybe he'll win a game, maybe 2. I predict 2, but ultimately the Los Angeles Clippers are good enough to beat the Portland Trail Blazers, and if they do not win, I will be very, very surprised. All of my predictions here, I'm pretty much solid on. I mean, I'll be shocked. The only upset I could see in this first round is maybe the Celtics pulling it off, maybe the Hornets, but I'm pretty dead set locked on these first round predictions. So tell me, what are yours down in the comments below, and until next time, James Carter TV, I'm out. Peace.